She's like never seen rain
The
before.
first time she touched the water.
Stop. Look at me.
Crying? That in forever. Oh no!
Did I do that?
Brings back memories. Yes, all the time.
What'd she do? What is that? Oh no! But wait.
I'm gonna send a picture of her and be like, Bree. I mean, at least you didn't get your face.
You can't even fall, Dulce.
Déjala que se desparrame. Espérate. Oh, my fault. Like she's a quería caer. Let me fall, she said. It'll be fun, she said. Yeah.
See, we can't go anywhere.
What she said.
No.
I love how you're like walking. Bad Amy. Bad Amy. Ay, ay, no.
They say with time, grief gets easier. But I think as we get closer to your year, it's just harder. Because the month of October is when it all started. October 5th at like 8:30, I got a call from Laura. And she said, "Oh, let me talk to Sheila." And I said, "No." I called you. You didn't answer. I called your mom, and she told me that you were in the emergency room, that you had pain and a fever. I was so upset at you because you didn't tell me. So I went to the hospital, we were there. And then you said, "Take me home. I don't want to be here. Take me home." And I was like, "No, I can't. Like, you need to get better." And then we were there, and you fell asleep because they gave you medicine because you had a panic attack because you didn't want to be there anymore. And then you got a room because you were going to be admitted into the hospital. And I went up to the room and I waited for you there and you were still asleep. And then I went down with you to go get a biopsy for your lymph nodes because they were like enlarged and they wanted to see if you had cancer. So then that night I stayed with you because I didn't want anything to happen to you. And that was like the first night I had ever stayed in a hospital with anybody. And it's so crazy because I recorded a video of you in the emergency room and of you the night that I spent the night. And the night that I spent the night, it was the next day, it was October 6th. And it was 3:34 in the morning because I slept for a little bit, but I couldn't really sleep because like the nurses and doctors kept coming in and out to check on you. So I didn't sleep and I told your mom to go to sleep because she was there too. And I filmed the video because I was like, oh, in a year we're gonna laugh about this, like ha ha ha. And a year later, I was sleeping on October 6th and I woke up at 3:34 in the morning. And it's crazy because the video I filmed was 3:34 in the morning. You were always in a hospital for a week and then you got out for the weekend and you'd go back the next week and then got out for the weekend. It was just always back and forth. On my birthday, you got admitted for, I think, the second time. Yeah. And you didn't want to tell me. That birthday on October 19th was probably the worst birthday I've ever had. We went to Disneyland, but towards the end it just wasn't that great. And then the next day I went to go see you and I was like, dang, like why didn't you tell me you were here? And you were so considerate because you said, I didn't want to ruin your birthday. And then you just stayed in that room for like a week. And then you went home. I should probably also say that when the test came back to see if it was cancer, it wasn't cancer. And we were all so happy because we were just like, okay, she has the flu. Like, she'll get over it. And then the second time you were admitted into the hospital, we still didn't know what was happening. And just test after test and all this stuff. They finally found out what you had, and it was called Still's disease. My understanding is that it's a rough form of arthritis. So we finally got a diagnosis. So we were gonna do whatever we could to proceed with treatment because it's such a very, 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 very rare disease that not a lot of people have, and there's like no studies on it, I guess, on how to cure it and stuff like that. Well, at least that's what the doctor said. So then you went home again on Friday, or I think it was Thursday or Friday. No, it was a Wednesday. Because we hung out Friday. I went to your house on Friday. You said, oh, I have to go to the store, like, I have to go get, like, shampoo and underwear and, like, all this stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'll take you. So we spent, like, the whole day together. We went to, like, 3 different Targets and, like, 3 different Walmarts because we couldn't find those little machine cart things that people sit in for you to sit in because you're still very delicate. And we had my grandma's car, so we used her handicap pass, and I was like, hey, you're handicapped, so we can use it. And they're just messing around in the store. And then we were gonna go up back to your house and we went to Taco Bell because we always go to Taco Bell. And we went to your house. We watched a Lifetime movie. And I was gonna see you later that day because we were gonna go get you a new car because yours was crashed. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go home and shower and I'll see you later. But for some reason, I kept lingering around. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I went to your room and I was like, what am I looking for? I went to the kitchen and then you were like, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay. And I hugged you. And then we didn't really hug, so you were just like, okay, like, you're so weird. I was like, I know. I was like, okay, well, okay, like, I love you. I'll see you later. And you were like, you're so weird. I was like, I know. Little did I know those were gonna be my last words to you. On Sunday, you texted me that you were going to go back to the hospital. And I said, is everything okay? And you're like, no, it's like the same things as last time. The fever, diarrhea. So I was texting you. And then you couldn't text anymore. So Billy started texting me. So I went to work on Monday because I was just like, okay, like, it's the same thing, like, they're just gonna admit her and test, like, we already know, like, what the problem is. But at work, I couldn't focus. I was just very tired. My mom picked me up from work and she was gonna go see you. And I wanted to go too. But I was just exhausted. Like, an exhaustion. Like, until this day, I could never even imagine being that tired. So my mom told me to stay. She's like, oh, you can see her tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, I'll just call out and I'll see her tomorrow. So I got home. I didn't even eat. I didn't shower. I didn't do anything because I was so tired. I got home. I, like, didn't even change. I just laid down and I fell asleep. The next morning, I got my phone and I got a text from my mom that said, oh, I'm gonna stay with Sheila, come pick me up in the morning. So she's like, come pick me up at like 5:30. I woke up at 5:30. So I texted her and I was like, okay, like, I'm on my way. Like, I was rushing to go get her. And she texted me, come to the room. And I was like, oh, like, Sheila's room? I was like, okay, what room is she in? And she said, come to my room. I go to her room. And she's on the bed crying, and my dad's on the other side, and he looks upset. I thought they were just fighting, and usually I'm like the mediator, so I was like, okay, what's going on now? My mom tells me, sit down. And I was like, no, I don't want to sit down. She's like, no, yeah, like, siéntate, siéntate. And I was like, no, just tell me. And I was like, what's wrong? I was like, I don't want to sit down. She's like, siéntate. So I sat down. And she couldn't tell me. She looked at my dad. I looked at my dad. And my dad tells me, los doctores hicieron todo posible a salvar a Sheila, pero no la podían salvar. Se murió. So she died. And I couldn't believe it. I felt like I had left my body. We were just crying. I didn't want to cry too loud because my brother was sleeping in the next room and I didn't want to wake him up. I wanted to make this video, I guess, to remember how everything happened, because I'm scared I'm gonna forget one day. I have dreams about you. I miss you every day. And I know you're watching over us, and I just miss you. You freaking scared her! I felt her! She's like, where's it coming from? Oh my gosh. Okay. So, Shayla's moving, right? We had to take, we took that apart and we're trying to put it back in with that thing. But you don't need that thing inside to screw it. So we took it apart at the old house for nothing.
My dad was getting mad at me. He's like, He's like, what did he tell you? You didn't have to screw it in so well, Shayla. I got thinking to myself, like, I don't remember screwing it.
Stop! You're gonna make me cars and all. Good, come on.
I left her pretty good. I thought I'm all taking a snap.